closing the door. Anybody else? Gus.
Do not disturb.
Over California, LA people.
When you go to the Dodger game, it's usually you get there about the third inning.
How about here?
Anyone else want to be my class? Come on, 4 more people. I'm gonna close the door. I don't like people walking in and out. Yes, I need to be a reality show. They are part of it. Oh, how does it work? So today, hello, my name is Hadia, my last name Rafay. I do have a team of people that work for me in the mortgage business. I do love what I do. I'm great at what I do, and I've been in it for 22 years. If I didn't like what I do, I think I would have probably changed what I do. I started in real estate. I did about 6 years in real estate, wrote a lot of transactions. I listed lots of homes. Me and my husband Sam used to be one team, which is at the end of the day, I ended up going to the mortgage. He stayed in real estate for another 18 years, 20 years, and I'm doing loans. And I did have the pleasure to work with many of you, close many of your transactions, and I do enjoy coming to this office every day. It's my baby. I started this office with my husband, and I do have a passion to come in here. It's something, you know, and that's one of the things that I have not retired yet because of you guys. I wanted to show you what to do a little bit extra when you are submitting an offer. So I do work with a lot of buyers. So buyers agents is who I work with, not the listing agents. Listing agents come to me to work with their offers. Sometimes if they have a good offer, I make some calls for them to make sure whoever submitted an offer, they have a good lender. But I usually, I like to help buyers agents how they can present a better offer. I just gonna ask a question, actually, and who answers it right, who's gonna get a Starbucks card. What's the best outfit? And who answers it right the first time is gonna get. What's your best outfit? Self-confidence. Okay? So I'm gonna start with this because your self-confidence is gonna project to the other realtors. It's gonna project on like if the buyer's gonna be working with you or not. So what you say and you know what you're saying, say it with confidence. If you do not know, always say, you know what, let me check. But don't be too kind of weary, like, you know, the buyer has to trust you with the purchase of your house. So if you cannot trust yourself and you're not confident of yourself, because I was reading a lot like how people can, you know, I do listen to a lot of tapes in the morning and so forth. So self-confidence is the best outfit. So I'm gonna talk about like what can you do to submit a good offer. So when you have a buyer, you're a listing agent as well, how do you like your offers to come through? How can you trust an offer versus another offer? Like a lot of people, the listing agents, I don't know what's your style of looking through the offers that come in through the door for you. But as a listing agent, I remember I used to have 40 offers on one house. So how do I go through them? How can I pick them? How can I present them to my seller to trust my judgment in what I'm presenting?
Have a backup pre-qual.
Have a backup pre-qual. Well, I mean, I do a lot of backup pre-quals And a lot of lenders, they do not like wasting their times with the backup of pre-qual. But as a realtor, you can ask some questions to the lender, whoever brings in your offer. Okay? So I'm gonna go through it because we have different level of experience here. We have people that have wrote many offers, had lots of transactions, and we have people that have not done a transaction. So negotiating a winning offer. So how do I click? Is it? Did it work? Okay. So I just want to introduce, I do have Juanita and Carol and David and myself. Those are the people that are taking care of the east side of Palmdale right now and the west side of Palmdale, Keller Williams. We are all been experienced. We all have credentials, closed many transactions. But I'd like you to see the faces that way, you know, if you're new, you would know who I'm talking about. I just want to tell you that we do have fast closings. We close transactions 15 days. I just closed transactions for them in 12 days. I have closed transactions with, it depends on each client, but we usually, our closing time less than 30 days. Why is that? Because we know when you go and present an offer, if you're putting 45 to 60 days or whatever, it's not gonna get accepted. I just get 2 offers get accepted because I agreed on 21 days closings. And that put the realtor in a good position to get their offer accepted. So the listing agent had 2 offers, and one of them came in at 21 days. I called from the listing agent and I said, yes, I can close in 21 days. They accepted the offer, so I got my realtor an offer accepted. Go ahead.
Would that be a FHA offer or conventional? What can you close in 21 days?
Both of them,
You can close FHA in 21 days?
all day long. So why is that? I'll tell you a little bit about it because I do have an amazing back office. Like, I had 2 closings, like they signed docs, we sent the docs, we funded. Exceptional case, I did let them know a day before, listen, this is what I need to be done, they'll get it done. So they'll do anything to get, but usually we close 21 days with no exceptions. Because within the 3 days we order appraisals. And one of the things, we do have local appraisals. On our appraisal list, nobody's outside the area. It's our own appraisal management company. And this is a huge, I don't know about you guys, what you know about that, but who knows, real estate, they know that if it's a local appraisal, I can pick up the phone, you have seen him around and they know who you are. It's much easier than getting somebody's driving from, let's say, Palm Springs or San Diego. I had a guy one time in a different company that I'm working with that drove from San Diego to do an appraisal here. Can you imagine? So, one of the biggest things is we rotate them, but they order almost like 6 or 7 of my people around here, and I all put them on the list. So the list didn't come in from anyone. I sent all the resumes for the appraisals that I'd like to use. It's a huge to me. That's why I'm staying with this company, because I had a horrible time dealing with appraisals now. They don't communicate with me. So we do have emails, calls, texts, videos, and meetings tailored for your each milestone. So I do have an amazing CRM system. Whoever used it with me, like I said, I have closed several transactions with some people, and then you see that like the minute it goes to processing, you get an email automatically. If it did go to underwriting, approval stage, every milestone you're gonna be notified automatically. The minute the underwriter clicks to the next milestone, you'll get an email. So we do have that in place, which is it connects with the software that we use for loans. So they talk to each other. So every click we make, I send it to the processor, it's gonna notify you. It goes to the underwriter. If you get an approval, clear to close, funding, prior to funding, CD out, and so forth. So the other thing is, we're here, we're convenient, so this is just like, I love working with the people that I see every day. Negotiating a winning offer, I'm gonna be talking about documents to present for a winning offer. So what documents you can present to the listing agent that makes your offer stands out. And I'm gonna be talking to actually to some of the people that they do get offers, and I would like to know their opinion, how they evaluate the offers coming through the door. Tips for submitting your offers, I'm gonna be talking a little bit about that. This is Sean, he's my videographer. So if you see him, say hi, he's on full time right now. So you're gonna see him on my staff as well, so next time I'll put him on the board. Improving your buyer's experience. So by you doing a presentation to your buyer, tell them I'm different. By the way, when I submit your offer, this is what I do for you. I'm not like any other realtor. I always tell them, what's your value proposition? What's my value proposition? What's your value proposition? Why would I want to work with you? So do you have a buyer's presentation? Make it a wow buyer's presentation. Listen, this is what I do. I'm gonna give you some tips and you actually benefit from this. So strong pre-approval letter. So basically the pre-approval, I'm gonna give you an example how it looks like. And you know, make sure you have the purchase price, down payment. I did used to put the FICO score in there. I removed it. Sometimes I really don't have that strong FICO score, so I don't want it to be like, you know, there. But I do, let me see if I have it. Well, this is one of ours. I put the purchase price, down payment, loan amount, loan term, and the loan program. Make sure your loan pre-qual letter, it matches your offer. Do not write a conventional offer on FHA pre-qual letter. Make them sure, because I had sometimes like, you know what, I'm like, no, you have to make sure, like what program your client is getting, what's their down payment, and it matches this. And okay, so usually our pre-qual letter, it's always say pre-approval certificate is subject to the following prelim, appraisal, escrow instruction, and we have every little thing we need from the buyer before we give you an approval. I used to make exceptions. I don't. So if your client has to give me 12 months canceled checks showing that the sister's making the payment on a car payment, I need them before, because that's the deal that I have less than 21 days. The minute I have an offer, I have everything is uploaded, submitted. So this is one of the things that, like, you don't want to wait your lender to get a lot of documents after accepting the offer. The minute somebody calls me, it's like, can you update my pre-qual letter? We pull the file and make sure we have everything. We're updating the file. It sounds like he's putting offers right now. So if I have anything that credit has been pulled 3 months ago, I re-pulled the credit, you know. By the way, when somebody comes into you, a buyer tells you, I have a pre-qual letter, that doesn't mean anything. Anybody can generate a pre-qual letter. So pre-qual letter is nothing. It's the credibility of who gives you the pre-qual letter. It should, so as a listing agent, or you're receiving an offer, you have to make sure you pick up the phone and make a call to that lender. Ask them questions. One of the questions that a listing agent called me, and he's like, if you want to pick one thing from their file that can delay closing, what would that be? And I'm like, wow. That's the question you could ask the lender, that whoever is doing, give you the pre-qual. So always do your homework, because that at the same time you're serving your seller by doing, your homework about making sure your offer receiving is okay. And if you're submitting an offer, make sure if the buyer comes in with their own, it's okay, but do your homework. If they call, because right now, a lot of lenders paying tons of money to get leads. So basically right now it's changing. Instead of you giving the buyers going and shopping, but they already have the loan, because I refuse to pay for marketing. I always did well without paying for like calling leads and all of that. I don't. So my relationship with you, that's the one that I usually pay money for, not the leads and money needed. So I did it. Like one time somebody's like, you wanna try it? I'll give you like this many leads for free for a month and see. I couldn't keep up. People put the wrong phone numbers and so forth. So I do not do that. But a lot of people, they get pre-qualified. They come to you and say, can you write me an offer? I already get pre-qualified with these people. Make that call. DU approval, go ahead.
So, on your pre-qual letter, it's not a pre-qual letter, you actually give a pre-approval letter. So it'll say
Pre-approval,
that.
pre-qual, whatever you wanna call it, it's sometimes I really cannot tell you what somebody's like, oh, you send me pre-approval letter, I want a pre-qual letter, send it this is just, in our mind, it's pre-approval. Pre-approval is like the same. It's still in pre-qual stage.
I like the verbiage of the pre-approval better than the pre-qual, because
Right.
the pre-quals, you're still kind of gathering stuff. But the pre-approval, you already have information and you can do the deal. So when we present our offer, it's just a little stronger if we already have a DU approval
But they're
versus
both
a
the same.
pre-qual.
The only way you can close a deal is the day that you're closing the recording. Like yesterday, I had somebody call me, it's like, I wanna make sure, I said, there's no guarantees in life. I walk through that door and don't guarantee if I'm gonna be like coming back here. So basically, do you want me to guarantee the loan is gonna close? I don't know, you might leave work, you might be kicked out. You might have I don't know what's gonna happen throughout the house. You might find something, so you're telling me I'm guaranteeing something. I'll tell him that everything looks fine. I don't see any problems with your file. If there's any problem, you're the first to know. And guess what? Let's proceed. But I'm not the person like, oh, no problem, blah, 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 blah. I can't, because I have been in this business for too long to know anything could happen in this business. The nature of our business, realtors or lenders, there's no guarantees what's gonna happen throughout the transaction. So that's why I'm like, I know what you wanna hear, but it looks good. So let's move forward. So I hate to say 100%, I don't say, any of that stuff. I say, you know what, everything looks good. It doesn't look like there's a problem. Let's move forward. Let's get your documents submitted. And in a week, I'll tell you, about the loan approval. I just tell you that because, like I said, the nature of our business doesn't allow us. The second thing is the DU approval. This is important right now. So basically, I'm running DU on every client, even if they have 800 FICO scores. They have $21,000 in income. DU changed in a way right now, it's not reading the FICO score anymore, it's reading everything on the credit, and it's giving you approval based on the person's credit history. It's amazing. 756 FICO score, I could not get them approved after certain DU, and some people, they have less FICO scores, and I get them approved only half, because it reads like the delays, collections, judgments, and everything, and it triggers a higher risk. So right now, DU approval is important for you to ask for from the lender. It's amazing. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about how the DU approval looks like. Whoever's been in the business for a while, they know how it looks like, and just wanted to make sure everybody gets the experience how the DU approval looks like. So as you know, it gives you approved eligible. So DU, it is a Fannie Mae program that reads everything you input it in your loan application. It imports the credit, reads the credit. It reads judgments, collections, and everything, and it conditions you based on your loan application and based on credit. It reads, it says judgment. So sometimes people's like they have 5 collections. So when I run DU, it tells me if they want DU to pay that collection or not. So your lender should be more a little bit accurate, and we do get people approved based on our DU. We do not over condition. Some underwriters over condition, we don't. So when I call my underwriter and say, you know what, I have this collection account for $2,500 and my buyer is not sure if he is hired. Did you run your DU? I'm like, yeah, read your DU. It will tell you. So basically, if it's on DU, we do it. We condition on it. If not, not. There's people in front of the door. The second thing is, if you look, it tells you the LTV, it tells you the housing expense ratio, it tells you the total ratio, it tells you the purchase price and the loan amount. So it's a beautiful. The second segment of this, it says appraisal waiver. The other day, I was doing a loan, and I'm ordering the appraisal. My processor's called, he's like, Hadia, on DU, it waived the appraisal. You really don't need it. So see, appraisal waiver, it says here not eligible. If it says eligible, that means I don't have to order appraisal. Literally, that's my underwriting. The second one is like, I'm just letting you know, see the findings? It tells you if I have to submit how many paychecks, how many W-2s. It will approve it on 1 year. I closed 6 deals basically just on VOEs. I do not collect much pay stubs. But the old-fashioned companies, they still ask for everything. They're scared of doing a loan without putting the paychecks in the file. With me, if it just asks for VOE, my underwriter's like, VOE, VOE. I don't need more. So I run DU, and I collect most of the stuff based on what the DU tells me. Every little thing, it tells you like if there's a home equity line of credit, the maximum allowables, and everything, you know. This approval, literally, it tells you how much you need in reserves. So sometimes I'm running it, and it gives me not eligible, and I have to go to a certain section and tells me, you know what, this client needs more reserves. This much reserves. If I change it in the 1003, I'll get an approval. So who is professional on DU, running DU, needs to be, you know, be updated on all of this. Some others still doing it like the old-fashioned way, where like, I know this client, the guidelines say 660, da da da. It doesn't matter. You understand what I'm saying? So it's very important for you guys to have all of this. So the DU is everything. What is it to include FICO Score? If the client has a good FICO Score, get their FICO Score and submit it with a package. If you are, this is what we usually send you. We take off, make sure like if your lender sends you the first page where the FICO Score is, do not keep please their name and their address and their like, just keep the name, take their social, their address, everything, and make sure, okay? Because this is private information. And I just keep the FICO Score in there. Okay, so another thing is like when you are submitting an offers with like 20% down, many, I don't know who doesn't, but mostly they want a verification where the money is. When they put the long, you know, it's not like the 3% or 3.5 FHA, they're getting the gift and all of that stuff. But like if you are submitting an offer with 20% down, 99% of the listing agents, they are gonna ask you, where's the money? So, you know, the lender needs to send you the first page. And the same thing, I remove everything, I just leave the name. Support from lenders. What can your lender support from you? Because listen, it takes 2 to tango. If your lender is not in sync with you and telling you everything about your client, I think because sometimes they give us certain information different than what they give you certain information. They usually tell the lender a lot. So he has to let you know, they don't want to pay this. So you need to ask for that. So when I call you and say, this client, they just have their down payment, you must find them a house with paid closing costs. Give you the DU. A lot of the listing agents that they do respect themselves, I say, they give a call to the lender. I get calls all the time. And your lender, if they're not picking up the phone, guess what? The listing agent's not gonna sit and wait for you. If they have a better offer, they're gonna submit the better offer. Especially if like somebody they didn't work with before or they don't know, right or not. You're not gonna say, oh, you know what? If he's not picking up the phone, to me right now, don't submit the offer. They're not gonna, I don't know, if I'm a listing agent, I'm not gonna do it. They have to be at least letting the listing agent know what's going on if they are calling them. Provide information to the client so they know how high they can go in price. So basically when the lender calls you and they're gonna say, okay, this is a pre-qual for $300,000, but your client can go up to $350,000. So when you are showing homes, you understand how much you can show them to the highest that they can purchase. One thing I can tell you, I pick up the phone sometimes and I call the listing agent. I'm like, okay, let me call the I call the listing agent. I'm like, wow, the lender's calling me to tell me that this client is a really good client. I never had that before. I want to get the clients the house. We want to move forward. We want to open escrow. We want to close. That's the deal, right? That's the goal. What's the goal? To close the deal.
Close.
Close the deal.
So we're always available. If anybody tries to get a hold of any of my people and they couldn't, let me know. I make sure the most important thing is to pick up your phone. As a realtor and as a, I don't know, sometimes we call the realtors, one guy is like, I don't communicate with phone calls, just text me. So which is fine. Other things that for you to know. The minute you submit an offer, email the listing agent. Let them know that you submitted an offer. Don't presume that they received your offer, right? Because sometimes I go call the listing agents like so-and-so, Isidro, you know, submitted your file, right? Submit it, and he's like, no, I didn't receive it. Well, they submitted it yesterday. Make sure, because you never know, it might be the wrong email. The second thing, call the listing agent and let them know. The other thing, what I always do on all my emails, if it's important, I always put at the top, when I email someone, email me, email back to confirm receipt of this email. I always put it like bold, so basically they can email you, say, receipt. All what I know is like they received my stuff. The number of days of escrow, make sure you call the lender and ask them if this client is okay to close within 30 days. Are you waiting for anything? Are we gonna be having a problem closing within 30 days? Things will come up, but ask. So anytime you're gonna put like 45 days offer, a lot of sellers, they're ready to move. They are looking for another transaction, or they're already in a different transaction. They wanted to make sure this client was gonna close. Remove contingencies. It's been a big deal. Big deal. I've been having every offer we're putting out, the listing agents want less contingency removal. So, pay attention to that. You call the lender and say, you know what? I got a counter offer, and they want 12 days. I had one 8 days. And I called the listing agent. I said, you know what, you gotta be reasonable. If you have been doing loans for real estate for a long time, 12 days is reasonable. By the time we have the buyer sign their disclosures, lender's disclosures, because we have to receive fees from escrow. We order disclosures. Buyer has to sign disclosures, then we can order appraisal and submit the file to underwriting. So that process takes about 3 days. So I need at least 6-7 days to get that, you know, everything in. The problem is, why do I want to jeopardize? So usually, so last time they had 2 days, there was 2 days holidays. And they still want me to do 8 days. Contingency, removal of contingencies. I said, so basically with 2 days holidays and everything, you're giving me 5 days. So they said, you're right, we ended up with 14 days. So be careful with those. Make sure the buyer is ready to roll on, rock and roll, especially when you are doing offers down below. Up here is not that bad, but down below, every single one of them, they want less contingency, a shorter period of time to close, and so forth. And I had like 3 of them this month down below. So I'm just letting you know. Removal of contingencies. This is how it looks like if you have not seen one. You can do removal of contingencies on appraisals. You can do removal of contingencies on loan approvals. By the way, you can do removal, you can check, let's say, sometimes they say, okay, can I remove contingencies? It's like, well, we received the appraisal, everything is fine, just check that. We can remove contingencies on this. But do not check all the points and send it back before you make sure the lender is aware of like you're removing contingencies. So usually I like to get it clear to close before I remove contingencies. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, because I want to make sure the buyer has nothing else left to close escrow. I'm always scared to lose, if they lose their deposits. So it looks like this, and then your offer is rejected. So this is, I wanted to put this, by the way, because these days we are in what, multiple offer games, right? The game is like always multiple offers. I think sometimes, even if they don't have multiple offers, they're telling you guys it's multiple offers. I had this listing agent, I had 8 transactions with the same listing agent. He's one of the good listing agents. And I told him, I picked up the phone, it's like every single time it's multiple offers. I said, can you send me the multiple offers? I want to see it. And every single time he tells me I have a cash offer. So what I'm saying is here, you gotta make sure it's, you gotta make sure that, you are aware of what's going on. That's it. And other times, when there's no multiple offers, guess what's gonna happen? Please submit your offer. But right now, it's like everybody's in multiple offers. Or if they don't have multiple offers, they are, isn't that correct? Have you experienced that?
Yeah.
So this will ensure that listing agent properly represents your offer to the seller. So I had a transaction. I'm just telling you all what I present is from my own experience. I don't come up with anything. My presentation is based on my daily experience of what I really experience. So the buyer's agent is from here, the listing agent is from somewhere else. Okay? The minute we had like $5,000, appraised value, less $1,000, $5,000 less. Immediately, he sends an email saying, you know what, cancel escrow. I have another, when you presented your offer, I had another cash buyer. I picked up the phone, it's like, why didn't you accept your cash offer? Why did you accept this offer? And it's more? I can't believe. So I said, this is what I'd like you to do. We're gonna be offering $4,000. The seller agreed, he would not agree, He would not agree to reduce the purchase price. I said, well, if you cancel this escrow, another lender's gonna pick it up, and guess what? They're gonna come in with $17,000 less. My appraiser is nice. Call him. He did. And then this is what I told him, if they want to reject your offer, this is me talking, I should not be doing that. And I said, I want them to actually sign this. I said, I want your seller to sign that they rejected the offer. And I don't think anybody does that. Right? You agree, And he said, give me 2 hours. 2 hours later, he said, okay, we agree. So negotiating is everything. Know your stuff. I said, I want this to be signed, that they did reject the offer. So that's one thing, like, you don't ask when, you know, you want to be presented well. You work with a buyer, you show them houses, you give them to the lender, you juggle them for 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, showing them homes. But I used to be a buyer's agent, I didn't like it. I was like, what don't you like about this house? One time I looked at the buyers like, I showed you everything, what don't you like about this house? So that's when I know I'm not good buyer's agent. I mean, that's my, I swear, I'm like, you want a balcony, there's a this is the area, it's hard to be in your position. It's so hard. We have our own things that we deal with as a lenders, with like internal and everything, but you're on the front line, knocking on the door, making the call, babysit, all of that till you get that buyer in escrow. Or get the buyer to make an offer. And now you have the listing agent on the right, on the other side, you don't know what's going really on. I do know that we do, you know, people, everybody is different. So what I think is right might be wrong for you. So we don't know what the other listing agent, but they need to present you well. I remember I was submitting offers, and I remember I walked into Trop. Don't put it on camera. I remember it so much. Like, he had boxes, because he used to be an REO agent at that time, and we were not REO agents. And that's what got me like, I'm gonna be an REO agent. I was like on the phone calling every company till I get, one time I almost choked because one, you know, company, one bank called me back, and I was like eating some, oh my gosh, they go, you know, let me talk to you. Please put me on your list. I was begging them. And when I was on the list, we became listing agents. I made sure I would not be whatever was treated. So if you don't like something about somebody, don't become like them. So I refused to change for no one. I did not want to be like, I hated it so much when I'm presenting an offer that I did not want to be that person. Even if I wrote my own offers, and I swear to you, I never told the other buyer what my buyer wrote. Because I did not, I showed homes, people were like getting so discouraged of buying homes because we showed them so much, we presented so many offers, and they did not, and they're like, okay, we're not gonna get an offer. So I remember like he had boxes of all his listings, and I remember I walked in and I gave him my, and he looked at me, it's like, number 42. That's offer number 42 for that property. I did a lot of offers. I wrote offers, I was on my phone call, I jumped into my car, like if a client called me and it's like, I'm in front of this property, I'm like, stay there, I'm driving. I'm driving to you. Don't talk like me. So what I'm saying is here, that when you submit an offer, if you feel there's something like not right, tell them to have this signed by the seller. It's your right, I think, that making sure that your offer been presented. And what else I'm gonna talk to you about? Thank you, I guess. I wanted to make sure that like for the newer people, or like giving you a little bit more tips, confidence. If you're not confident about your information, read it. I used to Google everything and then get back to my clients. Nobody came into this life knows everything. We learn everything. We learn everything. And if you're self-confident, you always know that you can learn anything you want to learn. The thing is, I'm going to share this with you. We get enough no's throughout our days and our life. Our clients tell us no. Our spouses tell us no. Our children tell us no. So make it yes to yourself. You don't have to say no to yourself as well. People, all what they want to do is always tells you no. If they don't believe in you, at least believe in yourself. Everything else will go away. nothing more beautiful than a confident person. And I used to tell them, I always use it, what's a beautiful person? A confident person. So be confident of yourself, what you're doing. And I always said, you know, I always like, give me anything, I'll get it done. I'll learn it. So be confident of your ability. And I always said, if she can do it, why can't I do it? I always said that to myself. If she can be successful, I can be successful. If she makes a phone call, I can make a phone call. So you always give those kudos to yourself to build yourself up. Because I just want to let you know, there are other people that come and build your self-esteem, build your life. But guess what? They come and go. And you're the only one that can keep like feeding yourself those good energy. And look at the people. Oh, by the way, I went to this seminar. I love stuff like that. And he said, every day we think that we're gonna get up and dress up and look good for others. Guess what? Everybody gets up and dress up to look good for me. That's what you need to say to yourself. They are dressed up for me. I'm not dressing up for anybody. So I learned that self-confidence. You look at sometimes talking to people, you don't forget how they look like. When they are like self-confident, they're not like, you know, always hesitant. People love people that they're decisive. If you read, and I read this book, it's like the most great boss or great manager, and every single one of them is like, what do you like about your boss? They're decisive. People don't like that, you know, people undecisive. Don't let people lead, you know, don't be a follower. But give yourself those kudos. When you do something good, it's okay. Say, I did it. It's okay. That's because I used to tell people self-confidence, it comes in with your little experiences or little things that you succeeded with. So feed it to yourself. It's okay to feel good. And don't let anybody get so no's. No, 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 no. Oh, do I do this? No. You want to look at this house? No. Your husband, do you want to go to this vacation? No, this vacation. Whatever, right? So it's for you to say, yes, I can do it. I'm okay. You know, feed yourself all those positive thoughts and positive motivation. But I love you all. And thank you very much. And I mean, if anybody has a question, please let me know.
So if we came to you, I know 21 days is quick, but we said 25 days, is that good? Because if it's less than 30, your offer is probably going to be a little stronger than the other offer. So 25, you're comfortable with. This is what
I tell the realtors, ask for 30. But sometimes the other realtor comes in, it's like, can you do it in 21 days? Give a call to the lender and say, are you ready to close in 21 days? I have a chance to get this offer accepted if I say yes to 21 days. All what I'm saying is, whatever it helps to get your offer accepted and open that escrow. So that's it, because like I said, you work so hard, and I have seen people writing offers after offers. It breaks my heart. So whatever somebody else can do to make it happen, why not? By the way, being a lender is a lot of work. And I used to say, I wish every realtor does have close to one transaction, one loan. And they have to see how much work there is. From verifications to letters, to we call for judge. You know, there's so much to get that file closing. But at the same time, you're at the other side, you know, trying to find, you know, you talk to 100 for them to come up and close the transaction. Same thing with us. I pre-qualify so many people before one is qualified. So whatever. So, but the thing is, we have totally different roles. So it has to be, you know, you have to have someone like kind of saying, oh, okay, yes, I'll make the call, or I picked up the call. I have a lot of you call me, it's like, you know what, the listing agent is gonna call you, can you answer, right? And then I say, oh, they just called. They just called, they're fine, I think they're gonna accept your offer. Because I make it like, oh, this is number one client. Then you have to. For the listing agent, they wanna be confident that they're telling their seller, this is a good buyer. I made those phone calls, I talked to the lender, and it sounds like this is the most confident of themselves. Got it? So I literally, any questions you have, you don't have to use me for the lender. I'm always here to help you out. I have worked with some that they coming in and say, I wanna switch my lender, and I look at you, it's like, what stage your client at? It's like, oh, we, like, Friday. Ask them. They came to me, I said, let me see if I can salvage the situation. Because, I mean, you don't wanna really get too much extensions. If I can, I will do it, and you know, I mean, all what I care about is for you to close the, I don't have to have the client. You can call me and ask me for direction, ask me for like situations, what do I think. It's okay. I mean, some people, they work and it's like, oh, you know what, it's okay. It's okay. You know? Loans will keep on coming along. No, you know, but all the thing is for you to be in escrow, close escrow. Don't let it fall out. If you have anything that's falling out, I had like a lot lately, last month, that a lot of people, they are coming to me and they're having it fall out, a lot. That's the highest month, so I feel bad because, you know, I mean, you have a buyer already put up. I mean, taking that file and cancel it and go look for another one, it's really hard. Okay? So 30 days, if they come back and say, you know what, can you close it in last, we'll accept your offer, say, then you need to call the lender, say da 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 da. Any questions? Was it a good presentation? Sleeping for 10 hours, I think it helps. I slept 10 hours last night. I couldn't. Okay, I want to ask you a question. I know Eliana's here. She's a listing agent. I know that some of you, I called the Marvin. If you receive offers, how do you look at them? Like, I mean, do you open them? What do you see, the attachments? What do you think of, like, how do you base what to tell the seller? Let's put it that way.
Okay, I review the offer. I always call the lender, and I compare it with the other offers, of course, and I ask for the details. I make sure that the lender has reviewed all the income and didn't just write the pre-approval letter. I do all my homework when I'm not, let's say that's the only offer I have, and I'm not feeling comfortable with the lender, I do a backup pre-qual. And if I don't know the lender, if he's an out-of-area lender, I do a backup pre-qual.
Yeah.
I haven't had the best experience with out-of-area agents, or lenders and agents. And yeah, just thoroughly do my homework with that, make sure that it's gonna close and that the lender feels confident that they're gonna close.
Right. You can sense it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then I do ask if they can close sooner.
You
Yeah,
see,
I
that's
always
what I'm
ask
saying, yeah. Yeah, I know this has been happening lately a lot, actually, like, I get the call, it's like, can you close sooner than 30 days? And probably because the listing agent asked them, right?
Well, the faster we close, the better.
The better for you.
Yeah, for everybody.
So everybody wakes up to look good in front of somebody. So her business is to look good in front of her seller, your business is to look good in front of your buyer. Who are you presenting at the end of the day? You wanna serve them well, right? And we wanna look good in front of you. We wanna please you guys. So at the end of the day, everybody is working for somebody. If you, I tell people, I'm not a self-employed. I work for all the realtors, I work for my buyers. I don't have one boss, I have multiple bosses every day, trying to please them, right? Marvin, what would you look for when you have a multiple offers?
which ones you decide the most money and the least on.
Okay, what else?
So you gotta make sure that it's a quality buyer to start with. So just like Ariana was saying, you just compare, you compare all of them. Everything you need to know is on the first 3 pages.
Oh, really?
You go through and highlight what they're asking for, what personal property they're asking for, what cost they're asking for, what else is in there?
Do you make calls to the lender?
Always.
Always.
And I verify that they really have the proof of funds is really in their name. And that it's something that's accessible, not tied up in 6 months wait to get it out of CD.
Mhm. That's been like #1 challenge, having buyers, getting their assets to escrow. So many people, they don't have it in their name, like he's saying, which is, if I get asked, I send them actually the donor's bank statement. I say, this is where it's coming from, and I have the gift letter signed, which is, we do a lot of gifts, tons of gifts. So, I mean.
Antelope Valley, nobody has any money.
Hmm?
Antelope Valley, nobody has money.
Nobody has it in their name, they have the money, but they don't have it in their own name. So, did you bring in the food? So we ordered food for you guys from, Olive Garden. So today is like special day, and I wanna thank you for a year. I have never done as many transactions as this year. I mean, we just start getting awards in our company, the top producers. My name was literally next to it. I was like, oh my gosh. And now I know how you feel like to be there too. I never looked for it, but it is an incentive, and it's all because of you, because I don't go solicit business from somewhere else anyways. Even other lender, I had like couple offices comes in, it's like in the valleys, like when you beat up our in-house lender. I love you guys, I can't. Even though it's closer to my house, he said, I'll guarantee you this many transactions, whatever, he had a good transaction with me, and I'm like, no. So I do not go solicit business from somewhere else, none of my staff, go solicit the business, it's just, we're just walk in, be accessible to you, always answer our phone calls, and we want you to have a good experience in closing a transaction. Let me introduce Carol.
Hi everyone. I've seen most of you in the office, I think, so I've been acquainted to most of you.
And she's the bilingual speaker in here. I don't speak Spanish.
Espanol, English, whatever you need, Arabic, I'll learn another language for you, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Do you know German?
I'll try.
Okay,
I'll
just check.
do Duolingo that night.
But the thing is, she's bilingual, so we've been closing a lot. I think that's one of the things that really is helping us a lot, having her in the office, because many people, even if they speak Spanish, they don't want to speak Spanish. They don't. They want to speak, you want to talk to somebody who speaks Spanish. So, thank God for Carol. So, I mean, yeah. I couldn't speak it. I couldn't learn it, so I gave up. I'm happy that I know how to speak English. So, and if you have any questions, let us know. The food is ready, and I love you guys. Oh yeah, I have, since nobody answered the question about what's your best suit, what's the best suit about us outfit, it was the question. I thought like self-confidence, nobody answered it. So I was going to, you want to put, I have two raffles. Two raffles. If you want to have? Oh, I can borrow one. I borrow one. Nothing? Anybody has a business card? You want to enter a raffle? Did everybody say self-confidence when I said it? You did? You did? Anybody? You said you had two raffles. You need two cards? There's lots of good food.
Maybe if you don't have access to MLS, but it will be good. I have the property list of SLR, Bakersfield, and Gamma.
I posted something for you. Did you see it? Everywhere.
I told her, I said, okay, well, I'll just have your agent. I'm gonna take out your phone number. The least you need.
Yes.
You want the phone number? I can give it to you. Okay, I'll text it.
Okay, please.
Can you give me a big spoon?
Yeah. I don't want you guys to wait too long, that's why. I cannot live without my glasses anymore. I cannot live without my glasses, that's horrible. I woke up this morning and I'm like, I opened the door and I'm like, where's my glasses? I get so scared that I took my glasses from somewhere. Did you like it? Did you like it? Did you learn anything new? Okay, so, I'm gonna have it over there.
Did I win?
I went in. Are you kidding me? So, does anybody want to share, did you learn anything new today? Tell me something.
I didn't really learn because I know that you are doing that negotiation for us and answering those calls from the listing agent help us to get out of our process. I am a business of that. So thank you, Fabian. Yeah, I know that it makes a lot of difference. And I have situations when the listing agent knows you already because you don't need the portfolio that you already established relationship with many agents. So a lot of listing agents, okay, I'm gonna take this offer because I know the lender.
Michelle, because she knew you.
Okay. And the other thing is that she needs to know other clients have as well. She's calling me about this client notification from the that was supposed to be accurate and how fast it went and how accurate and actually giving me all her clients. She sends me clients all the time.
Yeah, you're awesome.
Yes,
Yeah.
you are
Yeah.
Trustworthy.
very
I can say what my experiences are. I don't know other loan officers' experiences, but everything I do, guys, is like what's really happening. Like, what is the other real estate I'm so scared, like,
Let me explain this. Sometimes they say to remove contingencies. Although, but they don't ask you for the loan contingencies. I don't think they
I will not ask, yeah.
I don't think they put it on the counter offer.
The other day, my buying agent, she called me, the buyer's agent. The buyer's agent called me, and was like, I want to say, she should remove them. And I said, if they asked before, she said, no, I said, leave it alone.
Yes.
What happened with you? I called them, by the way, I just want to let you know, I called him like 5 times.
And he
And I
told
called
me
him.
I called him, and so he texted me Saturday, and I'm giving him today to call me back, so he said. Yeah, he said.
Está muy alto, y eso fue
You don't know, he tells me that he's already going to the other So I was like, I'm gonna call my broken the owner. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm threatening with my owner.
Okay, one is working for, I noticed that you are being posting things, comments on Facebook with guards.
That's good. I love it. I love it. I love these classes.
I want to hire somebody like Ted or somebody. Come on.
Is it really expensive?
Where's my phone?
May I, ladies?
Although we are in Nashville, and we have the title sheet and everything, but it's gonna be around that number, 8,000 to 8,500. I've never seen that house like that. Yeah, so if you want to remember, it's on the right?
Papás andan de visita y entonces como sí subí de precio. Ven, no sé qué.
Oh, they're in there, in there.
También, I was here a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, I think I
It's okay. You guys figure it out?
So how is she doing?
and she's not sure. From experience, it's usually less than that.
Yeah. Maybe just gotta take some cars.
She doesn't have a credit card?
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
How are ya? Good to see ya.
Good.
Thank you.
Good. Oh, there we go. Oh, good.
We get along together.
Wow, you guys are up,
Every
huh?
Tuesday after.
No, I see you guys.
Three Libras and a half. Scorpio starts.
Careful, it's in the same day. Have you been after that? I don't know.
What camera were you shooting? Live?
I'm gonna join you ladies.
Yeah, I can talk to you about that. We're in the kids with Vegas last week.
Oh, I wasn't going to use this one. Sorry, loaded.
So, what a caravan. Which
With the other thing?
yeah. Hi, Doctor. Nice to meet you.
I think we took a class. I think we took a class.
40 years later.
Wow, congratulations.
We did, yeah. I had a buyer. It went under than pain medicine, and then not
Which ones?
Over here.
Oh.
Those types of things.
Oh. That's how I lose them, like, how much? So many dollars in class. Thank you.
I tried to get out.
No es como cuando es tu primer año.
Be very
I have, but I wasn't
They say that they're chefs but you can hear. No, it's kind of like Taco Bell to Mexican food. Oh, yeah, but I they would require us to work though. And get out. Sure, you were here like they were yeah, you've been working on it. You've been paying a lot. You need some support. He's very young.
Walk into your office on the phone again.
There's one thing that we've been thinking about is and she team is say yay or nay for this. You take your school here? Yeah, that might work. I just didn't do it because I didn't feel like this celebration. Like a 2 months to finish, but then I think it's about 2 months to and I think it would have been better to answer that question. Right.
And then people that ask the market.
Food but now we're gonna start coming. Just so we can work together and make it work. I prefer it. But not even good people. I can stay 30 seconds. I like that.
Yes.
Yeah, we do. Sorry.
You get plus. I even though I'm not in brand, but still, I'm so
Because you to get my property license, open up property management. So constantly talking about next time I see you, I'll have your gift. No, I didn't. Well, breakfast. I'll give you incentive.
Yeah.
Because it's cute.
So what for the family? What is his name? Call?
Yeah, man.
here in the office?
Yeah, they're gonna start coming into the office. I'm gonna go eat my food. I'll come back and get that food. I'll be
home office or my car. I don't know where. Not my fault. I'm afraid that's
because my guys, and I didn't come out, and my guys, they don't just like no, his team they're just like, can you just spray the just to where it doesn't, you know, she's not giving you $1,200 to restore the freaking. But what is it? It's Plus than one, too.
Yeah.
You gotta, yeah. 6'4",
I cannot see that.
We had discussions last time we were together. You need to give one I'm like this. I'm not doing it.
That's a big deal. So, who's the license and he's fixing it. I mean, he's the first guy.
I'm gonna see my estimation.
And that has to be my guy. I said, call him. And he has his two sons. He'll come.
You guys, watch for my email. I'm gonna be doing a raffle in my office and announce it on Facebook and on my on my email and stuff like that.
Like some people.
So I'll email you.
Okay.
Did everybody put in their card?
Yes. If you want.
Yes. Do you put in your card? So I'm gonna email.
I like how
He's real meticulous about what he does.
I finally got clear to close on test line.
It will be coming soon. It's gonna be all
5 days.
It's been on my desk. I have to go to my desk. Sean, you can sit there.
Yeah. The good thing about that is we had good luck.
I gotta go. I'll see you ladies on the next one.
But I know that. But I think every other
Getting better in speaking, right?
Oh, yeah.
If they say yes.
And I said, if you can get creative,
I'm considering changing my hair color.
oh yeah? I said, I will give it to you instead of him. I'm thinking you might be able to somehow, because they're not enough money for this. So I'm thinking there's something you can do.
want to tell them where she's not absorbing it.
No.
Her and I've been doing it, and me heard, but the door I did
Your
that.
aunt's gonna come to
That's
see.
crazy.
You talk to them?
Inspection.
I gotta go, I've got that one that I do.
So a 4.5, if you say you use a guy and you cover all the clothes.
They give you, they charge you 1 point. I don't know, but they charge you 1 point, which is.
You never know.
$30. The only thing we just change.
It just makes, so it's not gonna work, and I'm not gonna let him get a second if Kevin can do it. You know?
Well, then you need somebody to be with you.
Yeah.
Let's do it this afternoon, how about you?
Yeah.
Her. 2 minutes or so.
We'll not together.
That's for sure. We do a lot of kind I have not done it.
Are you driving it?
Yes.
I know Sheriff, and I know where to get on. I ain't doing that. You know, call here, but you know, I ain't going. When you know
And sometimes if people qualify here, qualify there, we find out which one is better. Yeah, it depends. Each client But what happened with that guy that, the item number?
Yeah, I have one. I
have two, one for you and one for somebody else. What if,
Yeah, okay.
all the ones there, whenever you have them, they gotta have like an ID from their origin or that's
Okay.
secondly, they have to have.
Let's go ahead and go. Enjoy yourself. Any questions? I'll be
They said they would be minimal.
Okay,
I had somebody say, oh, I can wait
and I told them,
I want to
feel them, going in.
you have to have, okay, another thing is that you have the IT numbers, they have
Joe,
like social
it looked like
security,
you were-
so they get
you were
the
like
date
two,
of
you
their,
went to one or two,
payroll,
however you
or
want.
their
With the fake social,
yeah.
yeah. Who has the IT number?
Charged.
It's better to have the IT numbers of their paychecks.
Go in here, we may not
So what
come
I
out.
do, I go around there.
And then when you go in here,
There's only two, so if you went in and you even got.
I have to go through to make sure which ones they are. And about people they do not have that.
Yes. So far, I haven't had any orders, so I don't know.
I haven't had any like ready,
For those.
like I'm not even, I'm not orders.
How long you been that, like,
our
no,
options.
5 to 1.
Right.
We cannot show their file.
And nothing, we
They-
know today we're getting phone numbers and codes.
Right.
How about you?
Okay, so it's
And so.
depending.
And
I
also-
don't feel
Agendas.
threatened by,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. I just.
But don't let your guardian.
Taylor.
No, I
Yeah,
haven't.
yeah.
Normal.
I don't make it, if I do, then
Yeah.
I'm gonna send it.
I don't say I have to move it.
Number and send it.
Yeah, I have a little pepper spray.
And when they verify.
And I don't, and that was on scale for the picture.
And they just for the. I don't have to come up, but I don't.
Oh,
I don't have
they're
to
way
know
out,
that.
for sure.
I'm like, you know, oh, this would not work. Oh my gosh.
She never breaks the rule.
Well, no, you have to go. What the thing is, person in the social, they might not pay attention.
Right? Oh, I, good, how are you? I know, it's been a while, huh?
And I think they can send it
Should the
Huh?
employers?
Something comes up.
Well, no, you know what, I've been talking
No, no, pay attention.
Oh, okay. I know she was just talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it.
And I send the authorization that I
Almost a
can
couple
verify
years.
all
And it's
this.
really not over till, you know.
Yeah, and then,
And if I send it to the
Now I
lender,
got
and
it.
it says, oh, you know what, we need to do
Oh,
this, I
that's
said,
when you
okay,
get
let me send it to you.
Not until then.
So actually, I'm not.
so, no, I have a lot of friends that, and, it just,
Yeah, right.
felt really good.
And then, and it means that I do all
Sí,
Yeah, so I was like.
Oh, no, honey, you go to California. One by my house, right in the corner, I'm in there.
Very good.
Okay, it's, right there behind me.
Yes.
It's her corner.
My guy goes, it was a guy. It's like we were confused.
Yeah, she did it. And then that, I was like,
They got it right here.
Eric,
How you doing, man? Awesome water.
But now they got a store right here. I thought we voted.
I wanted to ask you,
Those stores.
I think I asked you for you know. You're allowed to sell.
Probably if I saw a picture.
I thought you did. I thought you did. I thought you did.
And she goes, I probably do, I just don't.
Yeah, you probably do.
This next used to be a real estate office.
No, my sister
Right
and
next to the gun.
one of them is my sister.
And when you told us from Century Planning,
Yeah.
I do an event, I do an event.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I
oh, yeah, it's over, yeah. Yeah, I would just
Yeah, she's herring now.
Yeah, you're, okay, see, if I didn't know
Herring
that,
now.
yeah.
Oh,
And
She
so-
was a great accountant.
Oh,
I
really?
think so, she graduated around with like back, I mean, 75.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I graduated 74, but I was friends with all the 75.
Yeah, yeah, because, you guys had a reunion, just
Well, my
a
daughter,
couple years
they
ago.
sent me.
Well, I went to 75, but it only was up to like 70.
Guess what she
So I went.
And they did, they opened it up to,
Because Nadia was there too, you know, Nadia Scrivener, she was in, she graduated 75, she worked for me.
oh, really?
Nice.
Oh, wow.
You are, did I know that? They set me up and then put me to decorate.
And she still looks great.
He said, oh, you're ready?
This is my sister, they used to hang out with her.
So, ¿cómo lograron? Y yo puedo.
Really? Oh my God.
Right, so we're gonna get some prices on getting one of these. No, but where I can put it on the wall.
Same.
Right, master one in the front room and call it good.
Do you remember?
Everybody's always saying, remember such and such, and I'm like, I don't know, but then I see their face, like, oh, yeah.
Well, her and Susie were. Ah, they were. Susie, Susie R. I don't think you advertise that very loudly. Yeah, but,
Oh, God, yeah. Well, I'm not gonna, I got another meeting at 1:30.
Yeah, well, she,
Can I have my phone?
she put the, oh, yeah, you keep them
I like my dress, it's like a peppermint like that, but it's not. It's
I should
striped.
have one for Christmas.
I know, that looks good.
Thank you.
We reduced it.
¿Te va a quedar ahí?
oh, really?
List de presentation. Oh, qué bueno. Oh, okay. Okay. Igual voy a estar acá porque ahora empieza un meeting para los captions.
I know it's not. I know the inward when I go look for it.
Because I haven't seen her.
I know.
I can't see. I'm so full.
But she did my
¿Sabes qué?
She mostly did my
Yo me voy a
you don't do this constantly.
I don't know where I hear.
I will, dog, I will.
Oh, you on the east side too?
Yes, I will.
Oh, everybody on the east side, I'm on the west side.
Saque va a calificar.
I'm gonna go and do this, stop by my house.
No hay más comida.
Yeah, and show you the, I know it's my vacation. See? I know
There should be some in the.
Right there, you know where I sit, right there.
They were there, pero ya no estaban, porque están limpiando la.
Ladies.
Oye, que yo tenía un hambre, yo sentía que moría. Yo dije, Dios.
Yeah, I haven't eaten, I didn't eat dinner and I didn't eat breakfast, this is my breakfast.
So right
So by the time I got here, I was starving too.
the leads, everything is.
I was thinking about buying something earlier this morning, like around 10:30, and I was like, no, they're gonna have.
You know what I did, I think it was 11. I went to the
this
store,
for
there
you.
were like candles there, and I didn't have
That's
a
why.
situation. I bought a little yogurt, one of those liquid yogurts, because I had tea in the morning, and I was getting hungry, I'm like, I know they're gonna have something, but I don't wanna have my stomach for an hour going.
Yeah.
You know?
You wanna know something? Yogurt makes me, it's like, every
this is
it's a
super-
ferocious carb.
I don't know.
Oh, really? Yeah, and it makes me starve.
No, I don't. Yo me siento muy yo soy como.
That's bad.
Y dejar todo.
Yeah.
So, let me read a couple of things, okay? But this is what they have all. Which just the cookies and a couple more sides. Something people get. Okay. Go.
He expects for you to commit free.
No, let me look up the thing. You get some stuff.
He's invested. So he has his commitment with these leads for a year. And they're not free. I mean, he I'd say about $6,000 to $7,000. So those, I'm comparing neighborhoods. I have 20 neighborhoods.
That's why you really wanna make a phone call. Just one of those.
One of them.
Need some stuff from the bakery.
And we have closed the other one from the lead. So one of those is gonna.
I started with
What they make so much freaking money that they make such a small. There's one time she brought like
from then when I started getting.
From there.
yeah,
And I was probably
shawarma,
I have 2 in Esco.
all kind of
His leads. Everything else has been mine.
shawarma,
So
chicken shawarma.
I had to do math. I'm putting more.
Did he, the guy, his food's really good. Yeah.
We have a lot of people
Big selection.
that are ready.
Here you have what have this been our 2 or 3, I guess. That's okay, we'll share the plate.
Eventually, we are gonna be ready. They're ready
Which is what it sounds like. Consistent.
That's exactly what I did, and I can honestly tell you that I gave me that. A schedule, we're supposed to be giving a schedule of the hours. He said, you work.
Really good. Type of zap
It can be bad like this because we do whatever we want, but
Basically, he has,
You're okay with
a 90. Just,
I was.
making sure we have
Grandma was. We were talking about it. Since when that happened, I talked to her, I said, okay, I feel the same thing, I've been like, I've been like trying to. And he
the
keeps
problem
saying,
with us is we
obviously,
were
you know, I
supposed
have this
to,
escrow's open, and now
we
I'm
were
like,
supposed to,
you know, so of course it's gonna
another
see if
course
you're
before we
actually
did
working
this
back.
2-day course.
So whether it's
So
gonna
it
be
wasn't
office
available.
open.
There's the only course and the 2-day.
We had a
One-day
conversation
course, you have to
last
take
week,
it
and we told him that
to learn
we
how to
wanted
do a lot of these
more
calculations, like
more
the cap rate,
close,
GFM,
more
how the like.
and that's why he came
So
today for the
we're kind of
meeting.
behind on that.
Monday,
It's,
Wednesday, Friday.
there's
So
another
I
one
come here,
that's coming Monday.
work from 9 to noon, whatever hours. So we can spend a little bit more time together.
I just
I
left.
like that. I like being home too, but I get so distracted. And it's so easy for me to say,
Does it have a
going
floor?
into my office.
Oh, it doesn't?
My fellow school.
Like I tell her,
I got
I
started.
do very well.
I sit on my desk,
Oh,
and
here.
I'm like, I'm gonna go do some laundry. Oh, you know what, maybe I can make brownies before the kids come home from school.
Yeah.
So,
And most people, I think, fall into that
Yeah.
scenario. So I think it's having a that you have more than yourself depending.
even though it's not like,
Yeah.
he's not, he's not. Pressure of having that many things, you know, not having that many contacts, having updated the pipeline that he uses, or practice. I've been doing so bad in my scripts, we committed to practice the scripts. So it gives you that, like, I don't know, I haven't really been doing, to me, it's like, that's what I needed when I joined the team, I need to be more teamwork. Yeah.
But that's where you have to act. You have to get uncomfortable to make.
I guess if I knew
Hey, I did nothing, man.
What I was talking about.
if I knew more, I don't know, Mike would tell me for that. That's great. And that is so true. I listen to usually the first thing is since everybody say the big things, he's a coach. What do you do? Anything. If you talk very about these things, there's tons of videos. He says the same thing.
Is there about to be any classes here right now?
I don't know.
No.
I think that is like around 1:30 or 2 p.m. So,
I was saying that so terrible, I didn't even believe in myself. And or I was like pausing, I not about it too much, because I'm not confident to the other person. I can talk to someone better.
I would suggest that you do it
But
yourself.
I tell them. I don't say yes or no. That better is good at it. That's the only way.
And don't take it personal. People are gonna say, no, you're asking them to give you, to trust you with their big stats. Whether it's they're gonna buy or they're gonna sell. So don't take it personal when somebody says, keep it moving, on to the next person. You know what I mean? You said no, maybe later, maybe, but you know what? Always be professional. Difference between her
And
and
they say no. They say, is there anything? And sometimes they say no. Many times they tell me, people are very scared. They don't even say my phone number.
anything sales related, rejection is a big possibility. You know what I mean? Like for me, it's school purposes. So you're used to, you know, I know I'm gonna go through on average 10 days before I get a yes. It was hard at first, but I don't take it personal, because it's just, okay, to me, honestly, in my mind, it's a check off, okay.
And see,
Two down,
but sometimes I'd rather not put myself out there to get that.
but you have to, because if you're not, you're not, you have to. You have to.
And still, he's still, monkey still gets me. You know, and one of the things that we do is watching these videos from, I'll send you some, Tom Ferry.
And see, I'm not big on videos. I'm big on the video, but everybody has their different niche. I listen to them, but I'm not big on.
Yeah, and see, I'm the type of person that sits, and watches, and watches any of those.
listen to it while I'm doing things. Even if you just have your phone so you can be walking around the house.
The transaction that you got, how'd you get it?
It was at the pharmacy drive-through window. I go pick up my medication. And I had given her, a business card, yeah, I just handed them out when I was in there.
You always were so happy. And that's how you meet people.
I know a lot of realtors, but I chose.
They hired me, she was my relationship with the hired me.
Where'd you find that?
I was just sure about so much.
But you know what, that, nobody can expect perfection. I don't have experience.
You do. You know that saying, people will make it. Just wait, like you know what you're talking about.
See, I'm not a
And
good
you know
faker.
what? I'm not a good BSer. Just be honest, hey, you know what, I'm not sure about that, let me get back to you, I'll find out and call you back.
And that's basically a lot. I don't think most people expect you to know everything. They just expect for you to get back to them. And as long as you can say, you know what, I want to give you correct information, let me find out for you, and I'll get back to you. Just follow through. You say you're gonna do something, I mean, I'm good about that, even with my kids. If I say I'm gonna do something, I need to follow through and do it. With your clients too. I have customers now that I sold last year call me, hey, can you give me some advice on blah, blah? I already got my commission, so I'm already done with you. You're probably not selling your house for a year, but guess what? They're gonna send me somebody, and I need to stay in their good graces because I depend on my friends and family to send me clients. Most of my transactions are my referral base, the majority of my business. So for me, that's what I'm telling you. That's a big deal because yes, you're gonna get leads being on a team, but those leads are not as good as
It's
your
not that
own
every
leads.
single one coming is gonna be filled.
Yeah.
You know, that would be
Yeah.
nice, but it's not.
So
it's not like
don't
that.
join a team thinking this person's gonna throw business in my lap. Could, but it could take
happens, you do,
longer
yeah.
for that to happen, because a lot of those people won't be ready for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, a year, where people that know you, have gotten to like you and trust you, are probably gonna buy within 60 days.
But that's okay, because even if they take months, eventually they're gonna be ready.
Yeah.
And they have family and friends.
Yeah.
So they can refer you.
But you want a paycheck today. You want a paycheck now.
Yeah.
So you need to have the nows and you need to have the laters.
So what if you, get on, listing, how does that work?
You could list it.
So it's both of your names. His
So you
name and
go
your.
to the listing appointment with him too, which is nice, because you get your, presentation.
Unless it's somebody you know or a family member or a friend, then it's better not to involve anybody else and you do it yourself. But yeah, you would be
Once it's
responsible.
listed, it's on the board.
Yeah.
So his
So
name is
both
gonna
phone
show, your
numbers
name
come
is
up,
gonna show.
but your number will come up first, so you'll get the calls because you know
If you don't have signs, you can use these signs, those team
Yeah.
signs.
they'll pay to come and put them on the property. So those expenses,
pay
you don't
for
have to
that.
worry about.
You can pay for the pictures and the fresh photographer too.
Was that you
Those
split?
are the video.
No, that you split.
The photographer, no.
That you split.
No, you don't.
That's what he told me.
Check on your things.
Split that. Just saying. Or maybe by the
Check.
time I came on, you changed.
Unless he changed. But I was talking to him today about it. We were talking about the
He and I
pictures.
had a conversation.
Well, you should double check, 'cause he's supposed to cover that. He's supposed to. What's his name again?
That makes really nice guy.
Really
Really,
nice.
really,
His
really,
wife, his wife is a DC.
yeah, really nice, genuinely nice guy.
What else? The only other thing is the commission.
But for you.
That's the only
to-
con,
yeah.
honestly, because everything else.
But in your case, I don't think it'd be a con, and I'll tell you why, because I think you get you in the right frame of mind. I think it would expose you to what you saying, these are the things you're lacking. I think for you, we can do other things that will get strengthened, just because of the environment. I think.
I'm not motivated at all.
Well, but it has to be a motivator, because if it's not, you're not gonna do it. You need to have a goal. Maybe it's a dollar amount. Experience, yes, obviously. That's gonna come even if you don't have a transaction. You're gonna be doing real estate business. But for me, money's a big motivator. You know, I close a deal and I'm immediately thinking, I gotta report this. It's done and I wanna have another paycheck. But that's not everybody's motivation. You know, I also like having time for being honest. It's a good balance. He respects the fact that we're moms. Everybody's a mom. All females are moms on the team. He respects your personal time, but it's really up to you how much you want to expand your business.
So I'm just gonna tell you, just have an
Yeah.
in your time
With your
that
children.
and your time with your
Yeah.
family. That's what always tells me. And that's why I chose these two. Because, the other ones are, what are you gonna do? And it's just money, 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 money. And I'm not, that's why he's so successful, Thomas but I'm not willing to work to that thing.
That doesn't work for everybody. That's your goal. But it sounds like your goal
So then I
is to
figured out.
learn.
No.
Your
I don't
goal
apologize
is to
for all the noise,
get
but-
some experience, get a certain comfort level, and I think that would be beneficial for you. In the meantime, you're deciding that we're definitely doing services, because I think open houses, I think that would really help, because you left the one-on-one, you left the base.
I will tell you, if you decide to go for it, I can mention to him if he wants to meet you and bring you for an interview, don't mention, that you don't wanna talk to people, that cause he's most likely not gonna like that, because that's what it's all about, right? Talking to people. Just
And work on building your spirit. That's
put it as, I wanna learn, and I can benefit from your team. You can tell him that we talked to us, and that we told you how the team was all about, and you're interested, and you just continue, or that you need the structure, that you need a push, but not, I don't wanna talk to people,
But she said she's
it's
more
just
comfortable talking
Yeah.
face to face. But you know what, he's not gonna care how you're getting the business, as long as you're bringing business. Do you know what I mean? If you
But
have
we
a
have to
hundred,
make phone calls.
you do, but you can
So
also,
mentioning that might not be a good idea.
well, you have to make the phone calls, but that is coming from her not being comfortable with what she's doing. Working on her scripts is gonna help you be more comfortable
Yeah.
on the phone. Talking to random people, and again, you need to go into it with the mindset of, I'm here to learn today. Go do an open house, there's gonna be a learning experience. Hi, how are you? Walk through the house. The more you do it, the better you're gonna get in your open house. And everybody does their open houses differently. She probably doesn't have I'm gonna start not going. I have,
I was going to go to, but I'm
yeah,
not.
I'm not gonna do it anymore.
After what we said happened.
Yeah.
We told Mike
Yeah.
that. I told him when I was.
But there's a lot of lenders that want you somebody to go with. You know, like there's lenders like that, that's how they make their money too. You know, they pre-qualify somebody who had no idea they wanted to buy.
Hey, how are you?
No, they could buy a house. Now I said you pre-qualify them, and no house, guess what? They don't have a realtor, they didn't have a lender, now they have a realtor.
I haven't done it with a lender, but I've been wanting to do it.
Yeah.
In
Well,
case
do it with
someone
another
wants
another
to
actual
invest
numbers.
ready, it's nice that you have a number ready. But she has been bringing up about doing teaming up to go do open house. Mine doesn't care.
I've done it before, I've teamed up with another realtor.
Like it's like you do whatever.
Different personalities, maybe somebody doesn't like.
Yeah, just call and talk to Shauna.
This is
Tell her that,
We're teamed up on the deal. You know, you do the numbers. It's
Either
fun to
Shauna
have
or
different
Tish.
personalities, because sometimes people don't
Yeah.
do 100 investments. Sometimes people want somebody that's a little more quiet, a little more reserved. Sometimes people don't want that. They want somebody a little more, hey, this is blue, and this is purple. Which one do you want? You know, so having different personalities, I think is a good thing. You don't want all of them. You need to have different flavors, different sort for different folks. You know, and I think open house for you can be a good way of getting out of your shell. And you talk about face to face, which is what you're comfortable with. I never, ever, ever have been comfortable in courtroom. I don't feel comfortable. If I'm not comfortable, I'm not going to go across the street. You know, I'm going to be on pins and needles. I'm going to be thinking, is this person only trying to drag me in their house?
We
removed
that from the things that we're supposed to do. We had that.
Because some of the people that you were,
Yes, I never, I wasn't available there. So we told my Kate, I really don't want to. So finally, we moved it. So we can changing, adding, removing, words. You're gonna find what
Tiene sentido que con
and he's
you're gonna find what you like.
We're just putting any money in the light. Yeah, wherever we can find some. I think we can maybe this a little bigger.
How you do it? Isn't all of it?
Do some little round table. Yeah. And put him in the middle. Put him on, what do they call it? Put him on. This is for Drew. There. Oh my gosh.
Hi.
We're making a social.
I know what happened to the tables.
I don't know, they have I don't know why they stacked all the chairs.
Come on, Drew, you're on fire. That's your chair right there.
We're gonna do a bonfire. I think these chairs are good enough.
Yeah.
You guys sitting in a circle today, are you?
You too, come on, that chair is for you right here.
Why does the room look like this?
Because we have the other class.
The mortgage class? Was it good?
Yeah. How was the food? You should buy Olive Garden this time.
Yeah, they have Olive Garden.
Mm-hmm. You messed up. Pasta.
Well, I went to Olive Garden with my wife today for lunch.
So you didn't miss much then. You know what Olive Garden tastes like.
Oh, OMG, it's Amy.
Hey, I forgot. Hey,
So what? Oh, I'm not even gonna give me that box. I'm not gonna do that yet.
I was trying to get girl.
Oh, no.
What'd you get?
Right, keep asking me.
Right.
ordered some
When
stuff
I
and I
was
keep
talking,
forgetting to
I'm like,
pick it
that
up.
actually helps me, like, remember,
Yeah.
like, come on, Drew.
Okay, thank you though.
No, you're fine.
Okay, thank you.
You're fine, dude.
Smells good. Smells good. I know. It's like canvas. Yeah. Oh, come on. The warranty here. Yeah.
Who made it? First American?
Mm-hmm.
The title or as well?
The warranty.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even know what to wear. I thought it was gonna be cold today. That's why I'm like,
I
it's
know.
hot.
In the morning it's like
I
40
went out now, I'm
degrees
burning, and I'm like,
it's
wearing
2 hours
black.
later and it's 80.
This morning I pulled up the weather, it was like 86.
Yeah.
I was like, geez.
That was gonna be cold.
I was looking for you and I texted you. I think you need to look for me also my client outside. You don't have to sit in a circle, we just.
I
it'd be
was,
funny.
yeah, honestly, intimidating me. I was just like, I'm not ready for this.
We're doing a
I'm not
bonfire.
ready.
We're having an
I'm not
intervention.
telling you all my deep, dark secrets.
It's an intervention.
It's not landmark.
When the eagle spreads its
You ready? We're gonna start off today with some inspiration. I need some inspiration in my life, and if I need it, I feel like you could probably use it too.
When the eagle spreads its wings, it's something to behold. It's something to behold. Nearly 9 feet from tip to tip when it spreads its wings. It was built for high places. It was built to soar. I think you would say meters, about 3 meters. It was built to soar, to fly. It was built to withstand the storms. So that when the storm comes and other birds run for shelter, the eagle runs into the storm and uses the storm to lift it up so that it can fly above the storm. You know you're in